Greetings, T-Mod back again for another drive time. I got to get through this quickly because I have a meeting at 8 o'clock. So let's get to it. You can like it, you can share it. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Never take the light of truth and place it under a basket. So I get a lot of questions from a lot of people that do not understand what's going on in the Georgia Senate races. They just don't know. So hopefully they will watch this, pay attention, and get an understanding. There are 2 Senate races in Georgia, all right? And people ask me, man, I wish I could have voted for you, but your name wasn't on my ballot. I was not on the ballot during the primary. The primary race was with David Perdue, the Republican, versus the Democrats. So if they ran against someone, they would have been on the ballot in the primary. But I don't know if David Perdue had a primary challenger or not. I'm not sure. I certainly don't know about the Democrat because I didn't care enough to look. So David Perdue won his primary. Ossoff won his primary. They will be on the one of the Senate races for Georgia. So that's that. David Perdue has been in office for 6 years, since 2014. I ran against him back then, and I did not vote for him because of things that I learned about him, but I'm not going to get into that. Let me stick with the 2 races. Now the second race, Johnny Isakson, whom I did run against, I told Georgia that he would be retiring before they voted. I said, you're being shortchanged, but they didn't listen. He garnered 66% of the vote. It was an easy win, and that was a plan for the GOP establishment. Rerun him, let him win, then we will replace him with somebody else because we know he is sick. And I knew too, and I told you. So with that, when he retired, he was replaced with a stand-in, Kelly Loeffler, until the special election could be held. Yes, she was tapped and put in. Trump did not want her, but that's who Kemp gave him. I mean, Google it. There are articles about it. Kemp splits with Trump on the Loeffler appointment. But again, that's another story. So now in this special election, the ballot of which I will be on, there are 21 other people, last count I heard, but a couple have dropped out. So you got Democrats, and on the Democrat side, their guy, of course, is Warnock, but there are other Democrats that are running that are on the ballot in this primary. We have independents that are running. Alan Buckley is one of those guys, a guy that I respect. We also have libertarian on the ballot. Brian Slowinski, he is also on the ballot. I respect him as well. But for the Republicans, we have Derrick Grayson, we have Annette Davis Jackson, we have Candace Taylor. I found out recently that Wayne Johnson dropped out. And he has called at least one other Republican candidate and asked them to drop out on behalf of Doug Collins. Go figure. And I wonder why. Well, I have a theory as to why that is. Additionally, Kelly Loeffler is on the ballot for this race, and Doug Collins is on the ballot for this race. I've spoken enough about them and why you shouldn't vote for them, but you can do what you want to do. You will do what you want to do. I am just trying to explain the race for those who don't get it. So when you go, you're going to see a long list of names of people running for this particular Senate seat, Johnny Isakson's seat. So if you want to know what I think is going to happen, many people are going to remember the name that they heard the most on TV. That's just what 80% of voters do. That is unfortunate, but because there are so many in this race, Not one candidate is going to get 50% of the vote plus one vote. None of them are. There will be a runoff, all right? And what's going to happen with that runoff? The two candidates that garner most of the vote, the two top vote gatherers rather, they will be in the runoff. Now, what is the best hope for Georgia? That neither Loeffler or Collins are in the runoff. That is the best hope. Also, that neither Loeffler or Collins versus Warnock are in the runoff. That is the best hope. Well, what would be, that would be the worst case scenario. I'm sorry. That would be the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, neither Collins or Loeffler are in the runoff. Worst case scenario, one of those two against Warnock. But a better alternative is any Republican against the Democrat. This is a red state. The Republican will prevail. Any Republican other than Loeffler or Collins. I have to throw that back in. So if it's obvious to you, I am not a supporter of Collins or Loeffler, and for good reason. So I think I'm past my time. I need to end this video. I'm going to come back and tell you about the poll. I put that up there on the title. I got a call, and boy, let me tell you something. I lit in. So I'll get back to you after I finish our team meeting. GraysonForGeorgia.com. TMOT out. Drive time till next thing. I hope that cleared up what's happening with our race. Peace. Gotta run. Gotta fled.